All right, it's time now to say good morning to Chris McCusker, filling in for Mike Eppel today as we get the latest on business news. Good morning, Chris. Happy Monday to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, very good. Feeling
good.
well rested, which doesn't happen on Mondays very often, which is good.
Nice.
And it's a short week, so that's also good too.
Yay.
We start off with Elon Musk. So he was hinting to the fact that he might join the board of directors at Twitter since he's bought a good chunk of their stock. What's going on now?
Well, never a dull moment with this guy. I'll just say that, Tammy. So yes, you're right. Last week we learned that he had become Twitter's largest shareholder, a stake of about 9%. And then we heard he was joining the board, and now we're hearing, no, he's not joining the board. So what's going on? Don't really know. This is a dramatic reversal, and it ends the agreement to keep his stake at no more than 14.9%. So that means his stake could increase going forward. He might push for changes as an activist investor because being on the board could be seen as a conflict of interest. And then it's also bringing back speculation that he could mount a takeover of Twitter. Now, Elon Musk, the Tesla CEO, who is one of the most prolific Twitter users, has repeatedly criticized the platform for things like failing to adhere to free speech principles. Sort of makes you wonder, though. He's also been musing about getting rid of advertising on Twitter, which is the largest part of their revenue. Shares in Twitter in pre-market trade in the red. On this news, I feel like there's a lot more to this story, Tammy.
I wonder what it is. I am actually really interested in this to figure out exactly why he's gone ahead and purchased so much of the stock and getting rid of advertising. That's the first I've heard of that. So that's an odd one too.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of moving parts, and more to come.
More to come. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
All right. We're moving on to U.S. inflation data. That's coming out later today on top of a Bank of Canada announcement later this week.
Yeah, and the inflation data is going to be interesting. It's already close to a 40-year high, above 7%. So does it hit 8%? Many wondering about that. Then we're going to hear from the Bank of Canada on Wednesday, Tammy, and it looks like we're going to see a hike of about 0.5 point. It's been well signaled, let's say, from the Bank of Canada, so no one's going to be surprised when we potentially see that hike. The bank will also release its outlook for economic growth and inflation. Now, annual shareholder meetings for Canada's big banks continue this week, with BMO holding its gathering on Wednesday, TD on Thursday. And you'll remember the federal government raised taxes on the country's big banks and life insurance companies in last week's budget. Now, the Canadian Real Estate Association will also release its March home sales data on Friday. Now, in the U.S. this morning, U.S. futures are poised for a loss to start the day. We've also got oil in the red this morning, and that's on rising COVID cases in China.
All right. We'll move on to some good news here. Now, the legend of Terry Fox lives on. It has for so many years, but that money keeps going up when it comes to the donations made because of him.
Yes. So since 1980, $850 million has been raised in his name, and they're not done yet. So a new T-shirt is going to go on sale as of tomorrow. That's sort of a kickoff to the run that will happen in September. On the 18th of September, it's the 42nd edition of the annual Terry Fox Run. This T-shirt already being worn by many Canadian celebrities like Daryl Sittler, Rachel McAdams, and Sidney Crosby. You'll probably remember that Terry was also on the short list to be on the $5 bill with 7 others. So I asked the Bank of Canada about the status on that last week, and a spokesperson tells me that it's in the hands of the finance minister, and there is no date on a decision as of yet. It would seem, Tammy, this is another thing that was maybe put off or pushed to the side because of COVID-19.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate that. And we want to tell viewers as well, Fred Fox, Terry's brother, is going to be on the show tomorrow to mark the anniversary of the Marathon of Hope, which is very cool. Thank you very much, Chris. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Have a good day.
All right. We're heading to break here, but coming up after the break, rapid tests that were distributed by the province. Where did they go? Well, you might be surprised to find out that most ended up with private schools here in the province. We'll have more on this coming up.